Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I know there's been some crazy energy happening following the end of eclipse season and all of the changes that tend to come with these incredibly powerful eclipse portals. Judging by my DMs and my Instagram stories, it seems like a lot of people are going through big endings, big changes, and that can cause a lot of nervous system dysregulation, right? Because when we perceive something as a threat to our safety, our nervous system is going to kick in, even if it might end up being the best thing that's ever happened to us. Whether it's a job loss or client loss or having to move, we're used to a certain amount of reliability and stability. When that rug gets pulled out from under us, when we get rock bottomed, it can feel incredibly scary, incredibly alarming for our nervous system, even if what's happening ends up being for our highest good. So today what we're going to talk about is practical tips to get our nervous system on board with change, to kind of initiate change in our bodies so that it doesn't feel so unprompted, it doesn't feel so ungrounded, it doesn't feel so out of nowhere. It instead feels like just a little perception tweak so that we get to say, oh, this is going to ultimately serve my greatest purpose. And before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We talk about all things nervous system regulation, subconscious reprogramming, and how to create the life you want to be living rather than constantly living the life that you're served. And let's dive into 5 practical tips to get your subconscious on board with change. Number 1, voluntarily create an outward change. So whether that's through decorating or decluttering or just rearranging your furniture or deep cleaning your home, what that does is it tells your brain, these changes that you're perceiving externally, those are within my control. And the other cool thing that it does is it solidifies this new timeline that you're on. You genuinely feel like you're in a new world instead of feeling like all of this change is fighting against the stable, the reliable, and what you know. Number 2, we want to give ourselves closure in whatever way we possibly can. So my favorite way to do this is by taking my journal and literally saying, hey, I empathize with what you're going through right now. I empathize with the change that's happening. I understand how scary it must feel, but I'm here with you. It's just a way to kind of give your mind closure and to say, we've done what we can to understand it and it's time to turn a new leaf. Number 3, and this sounds so obvious, but it is oftentimes missed, is acceptance. This is a challenging one for a lot of people. But the thing is, new neural pathways will take between 6 and 8 months to form. And while clearing subconscious blocks can totally be instant, practicing a new way of living is going to take time. And part of that includes living in that scary in-between where the new neural pathways are kind of being built out. For sure, there's no problem with letting your body feel what it needs to feel, but there needs to come a point where we accept that we're going to be in a scary in-between place while we're growing and while we're building and while this new identity is forming in our minds. Okay, number 4, we want to find the lesson in the experience. I know this can be tricky. I know this can be painful, especially when it feels like we got screwed over in some way, shape, or form. So we really want to be clear with ourselves about what the ultimate purpose is in these moments. And the best way to do that is just do what you can to get the emotions out. Flush your body somatically so that you're not holding on to resentment or any of these things. Doesn't mean you're not going to keep feeling fear, but you can figure out how to regulate your nervous system using things like EFT tapping as you move towards the unknown. And the last practical tip to get your subconscious on board with change, take the logical next step. Raise your hand if you've ever been personally victimized by your imagination and your desires to get to your destination. I know I have. The logical next step is going to differentiate from the ideal next step. It'll be twofold. 1, it'll take you probably towards the thing that you want to be doing, even if it's not immediately obvious. So don't get too caught up on that. But number 2, it would probably have a series of breadcrumbs laid out along the way by way of meeting people who need your exact skill set for a reason, or having a little hint to start researching a particular something, your intuition guiding you towards the thing that you want that will be reached by way of a series of logical next steps. And this is really important because in these eclipse seasons where a lot of change is happening and breakups are sudden, it can really feel like a dead end. It can really feel like there's no hope, but there's always going to be these tiny little moments that changed everything that will add up to your ultimate destination. And bonus item that's really important for getting our subconscious on board with change. Nervous system regulation is everything. Our bodies are going to want to panic. They're going to want to freak out. They're going to want to do everything they can to tell us, hey, you're in danger. Hey, you're in danger. Hey, do something about it. You're in danger. But when we can bring ourselves into a grounded place, we can start to look at it logically and we can move into that place of trust. But we're never going to be able to do it when things in our subconscious that we picked up in childhood, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, you can watch this video here. We're never going to be able to do it if these subconscious beliefs are constantly telling us we're not safe or constantly telling us we're not good enough. And that's why the absolute most important part of all of this is know yourself enough to identify those blocks that are screaming at you and clear them by way of subconscious reprogramming and nervous system regulation. But allowing your subconscious and your inner child to run the show and to be in the driver's seat when there is so much more out there for you is just a waste of your life. That's why I'm so passionate about reprogramming our subconscious mind and getting ourselves into that place of neutrality and emotional freedom so that we can just live out the purpose we came to this planet with. All of it comes from following our intuition, moving from a place of trust, and understanding that change is scary, but change is necessary, and it is always for our highest good. If you want to learn more about where you might have picked up subconscious blocks, I have a great free worksheet that I'll link down in the description in the show notes. And in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be launching my membership that I am so excited to share with you guys, because rather than just vaguely saying clear your subconscious blocks, I'll actually have a place to send you where you can clear your subconscious blocks and literally be free from these things overnight. It is magic, it is incredible, it is life-changing work, and I know it's going to make just as much of a difference in your life as it has in mine. So if you'd like to be first in line for when the Unlearning Academy opens, first download the free workbook to see where your subconscious blocks are, and then go into the academy in order to reprogram those. So keep an eye out, join the newsletter. I'll be sending updates about that very soon. And that's it for practical tips to get your subconscious on board with change. Drop a comment for what's coming up for you right now. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.